So, the breaking news this hour, Arsenal have lost to PSG in the Champions League final in Budapest. The tense match went into extra time after a 1-1 draw. Arsenal then losing on penalties to PSG. And as we've been hearing, it comes after landing the Premier League title after a 22-year wait, but no historic double. Arsenal once again missing out on being one of Europe's most elite clubs. Let's join our sports correspondent, Rob Harris, who is in Budapest for us. Rob, but no one likes to see a big game like this end in penalties, but for Arsenal, it wasn't to be.
Yes, the Champions League prize still eludes Arsenal. There will be no double this season. They'll have to settle with just winning the Premier League. Not a bad result to end the season with after ending their 22-year English title drought, but it's the European title they craved. And they had taken the lead through Kai Havertz in the first half. And that was something that they just could not build on. So defensive for Arsenal, they were content to soak up the pressure, creating nothing. Instead, they were stopping the PSG threat. And then in the second half, when they conceded a penalty, it was the equaliser that brought PSG back into the game. And ultimately, after that moment from Ousmane Dembele, Arsenal didn't build on it. They only had one shot on target through the game, and that's why we went to penalties. And ultimately in the shootout, the two misses from Eberechi Eze and Gabriel Jesus, allowing PSG to retain their Champions League title, a rarity in the game in the Champions League era after 1992. Only one team, Real Madrid, a decade or so ago, has defended their European crown, but those Parisian fans are delighted tonight. This is the biggest prize of them all, and they've done it back to back. They've had to do it the hard way tonight. A year ago, thrashing Inter Milan 5-0. Tonight, being taken all the way through to penalties by Arsenal, and ultimately prevailing. They are fans who are absolutely reveling it. Here in Budapest, Arsenal fans lead despondent. They've now lost 2 Champions League finals. In 2006, beaten by Barcelona. Now here in Budapest, humbled by the holders. Perhaps there'll be questions about a lack of ambition from Mikel Arteta's side. Could they have gone on the front foot more? Instead, allowing PSG to really be in control of the game. And that is really the two sides of this. On the left, we're watching back in Paris, the Parc des Princes Stadium, the PSG fans who couldn't make it here celebrating. On the right, Arsenal fans back home, despondent, getting ready for a parade still tomorrow, but just with that one men's trophy, the Premier League this season. And for Paris Saint-Germain, a second shootout win of the season. It began by beating Arsenal's great rivals Tottenham in the Super Cup on penalties, and instead the Arsenal fans are filtering out here, despondent. I'm joined by a couple of them. You're live on Sky News. Why do you think you didn't manage to see off PSG?
Looking at the stats, they played better than us.
Yeah, but
we had moments. And we didn't take our moments. And football's about moments, right? We didn't take ours, they took theirs, and
you got the lead. Should you have built on it?
I mean, you know what? It was a penalty, wasn't it, that they got?
That frustration in extra time.
Frustration, a silly penalty to give away. If they wouldn't have got that, I don't believe, personally, I think we could have nicked it 1-0.
I was thinking about the penalty you didn't get. Do you think it was a penalty in extra time?
Definitely it was.
I don't know, we was quite high up. So
I'm saying it was, I'm an Arsenal fan, that definitely was. But also, the Havertz finish, just like Man City game. Havertz should have finished that. Should have finished that. We just, look, end of the day, football's one of those games, right?
Yeah.
The best team that deserves to win always wins. That's it.
And it was PSG who really dominated possession, 75% at times.
And we got 28%. They had, 11 shots on goal. We had 1 shot on target.
Yeah.
Corners then, 11 corners, we had 4. We had 7 shots and 1 on target. They had 19 shots at our goal. Just look at the numbers.
But you know what I mean? Like, all that stats don't mean that. It's about finishing your opportunities. Like, they could have 20 shots, we have 3 and score 3.
I'm saying to you in the game, they were dominant. We gave them the ball. They had too much of the ball.
First off, they had no shots on target, no?
Are you thinking it could have been a bit more ambitious?
Of course. Hindsight, though, right? Hindsight's always a wonderful thing.
But you won the Premier League by perhaps being the cautious team.
Yes, exactly. So he stuck to his principles, right? You can say that he died on his shield today. And there's changes we need because our wingers, as good as they are, they're not good enough. That's it.
That's the next level now we've got to look at. We played the top team today, and that's the standard you got to be setting now.
And you think Mendes and Hakimi played in our half majority of the game. They weren't scared of going behind. So we've got to take the game to teams.
To win the league, but Champions League, it was another level. We played PSG, world-class wingers, man. They made a big difference, you know what I mean?
This is not just being satisfied with the Premier League. It's now what can be done to go to the next level to be champions of Europe.
League, but now we've got to
Premier League is good, but this would have been great. So we can't lose sight of good while we chase great. But now we've seen what it feels like. We've got to hold this feeling of this pain and go again. Yeah. That's what we've got to do. We can't sit there and low on it. We've got to say, listen, see that feeling, watch them celebrate, see how they're celebrating. Don't ever feel like that again.
Burn, man.
Let that hurt you in your heart, and then we go again.
Well, I hope you have a good trip back, and you can celebrate the Premier League
thank you.
with the parade tomorrow.
That's it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for joining us live on Sky News. The despondent Arsenal fans wondering what could have been. They won the Premier League by being stubborn, by rarely being in possession of the ball, by relying on set pieces, but ultimately it didn't work against a PSG side that poses so much threat. But there was that hope. Let me think back to early on in the game, just what a bright start it was when Kai Havertz scored from that tight angle right into the roof of the net. The game was only, 5 minutes old where they managed to do so, but then it was conceding that penalty in the second half, which it was really the one lapse in concentration that we did see. It was Christian Mosquera who conceded it, and then Ousmane Dembele converting from the spot. There were moments of frustration later on. Arsenal did create chances, but it just wasn't enough, and so often they're relying on the goalkeeper David Raya to save them, as he did in the shootout at times, but ultimately PSG prevailing 4-3 in the penalty shootout. Arsenal with their misses from Eze and Jesus. So here in Budapest, no double for Arsenal, but a defence of the Champions League title for Paris Saint-Germain.
OK, Rob, in Budapest, many thanks for that. Sky's Barnaby Papadopoulos is with Arsenal fans in North London. Barnaby, as Rob was saying, it all started so well, didn't it, with that goal in the first 5 or 6 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. A scene of complete pandemonium when Arsenal drew early in that first couple of minutes of the game, but ultimately it wasn't to be. A complete nail-biter of a game here at the Emirates Stadium. Hundreds, thousands of fans have gathered to watch a screening of that match in Budapest. We've just heard from Rob, and of course Arsenal were just unable to bring it home this time. Success eluded them in 2006, it's eluded them again in 2026, but look, they have won the Premier League, the first Premier League title in 22 years. That is surely something to hold on to. So let's speak to some of the fans who have gathered here outside the Emirates. How are we feeling? It came so close.
Yeah, I mean, we came so close. It's a little bit of a heartbreak, but you know what? We won the Premier League, and I'm happy that we've even got something.
And I mean, to get to penalties as well, it must have been so tense watching that here. How are you feeling, having just missed out?
Well, I'm heartbroken. I think we should have had a pen earlier on, but I still love this club, and I'm excited for tomorrow, and that's all we've got to look forward to.
It's got to look forward to that, and look, Premier League champions after 22 years, that's something, isn't it?
It is something. Again, like the boys said, we're here tomorrow, we come again, we're going to be celebrating, we're going to have a lovely time, so yeah, not much to ask for. What about yourself?
It's remarkable, as you said. Going to come back here tomorrow, spread the love, spread the joy. There's a lot of happy faces, a lot of sad faces. Yeah. But tomorrow, we're going to bring the joy. Exactly. It's going to be good.
We know what we're here for. It's Arsenal. 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 Arsenal.
So as you can see, their enthusiasm for Arsenal stays undimmed despite the disappointment of tonight, despite just missing out. They are the Premier League champions, and that is what they're focusing on right now, here outside the Emirates. They're not focused on that penalty, they're not focused on the score here. And I think the sense we get is that next season they're going to come back stronger and better, and they're going to be celebrating here in North London tomorrow. I don't think there is any doubt about that at all.
Barnaby, thank you very much indeed. Barnaby Papadopoulos there.